A major controversy is brewing in Karnataka over Congress leader Priyank Kharge having hit out against rebel BJP leader Yatnal. Now, the reason for this is with regard to the comments that he had made on social reformer Basavanna. BJP MLA and former Union Minister Basangouda Yatnal has ignited a storm with his incendiary comments on Basavanna, urging those protesting the Waqf issue to jump like Basavanna into the river and die. His statement has angered the Lingayat and pro-Basava groups in the state. Basavanna is revered for his anti-casteist remarks as well as thought processes, and also with regards to his social reforms that he had introduced in the 12th century in a very archaic society. Karnataka Congress Minister Priyank Kharge tweeted, and I quote, BJP MLA Yatnal has made an unforgivable mistake by insulting Basavanna. BJP has used to talk about Congress leaders and minorities are now attacking those sages who sacrifice their lives for social reform. Yatnal, who spoke of Basavanna as an escapist, should be condemned by Basavanna's followers. Another heinous crime was Yatnal's use of Basavanna's name for his hate speech. Yatnal has been leading a rebellion within BJP and has been considered as a prominent leader among the Lingayats. He has been leading a separate agitation on the Waqf issue in Karnataka when he said that one of the options is to jump into the river and die like Basavanna when there is a problem. Well, the defeat in 3 by-elections in Channapatna, Sandur and Shiggaon has created the pressure for differences in Karnataka BJP to come out in the open. Amid brewing infighting, Karnataka BJP State President B.Y. Vijayendra has arrived in Delhi to meet party high command. Led by Basangouda Yatnal, the open rebellion against Vijayendra had been brewing for months now. For 4 long years, Yatnal, along with Ramesh Jarkioli, Kumar Bangarappa, Arvind Limbavali, former MPs Anasaheb Jole, Pratap Simha and G.M. Siddeshwara have registered their protests against B.S. Yediyurappa and then his son, the State President Vijayendra. Meanwhile, even as Yatnal has been summoned by the central leadership for a meeting, but he declined the offer to go alone and insisted that he shall only go if his team is also in attendance. Now, according to sources, Yatnal has agreed for a meet and will arrive in Delhi on December 1st.
Going alone, saying that if I go alone, then they will try to put the entire blame on me, saying that I have aspirations to be a chief minister. If they want, they can take action against me, is what Yatnal has told its leadership. But on the other hand, this division within the party is brewing out in the open, and it is becoming a big problem for the BJP, because the Yatnal faction believes that the presidentship given to Vijayendra is given on the basis of dynastic politics and the idea of nepotism, which they have been fighting against the Congress. They believe he's just because he's the son of Yediyurappa, he's given this post, and that is why they are against this entire idea. On the other hand, despite denying coming to Delhi, Yatnal with his team will be traveling on the December of 3rd to meet the Waqf president, Waqf JPCC president Jagdambika Pal, who's looking into the entire Waqf issue, so that he could apprise them about what is happening in Vijaypura and the other places with regards to Waqf issue. So with these two leaders traveling to Delhi and trying to apprise their leadership with regards to the problems that they're having in the state, it clearly gives you an idea about what infighting is happening within the BJP and how the BJP is having a tough time to keep its flock together, because yesterday itself, Renukacharya, the MLC of the BJP, had done a press conference where he went on to call Yatnal a Congress agent, somebody who's taken supari from Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, and he's one of the reasons for the debacle of the 3 bypolls in Karnataka, and he had also asked for an expulsion of Yatnal, something that all this while had not happened. People wanted an action to be taken against her, but nobody had demanded for expulsion. But now with this demand and with this faction brewing out in the open, it is something that is worrisome for the BJP, because it is high time for them to keep the flock together if they want to fight as a united opposition against the Congress, and if they want to show a united face in the upcoming winter session in Belgaum. So it remains to be seen how Vijayendra and Yatnal will be able to quell their rebellion, quell their issues, and be united within the BJP.
Kerala Governor Arif Mohammed Khan and the Pinarayi Vijayan government continued to lock horns with former appointing vice-chancellors to 2 universities, ignoring the state government's recommendations. Defending his decision, Khan said that he was only exercising the powers vested with him as the chancellor of universities, whereas Higher Education Minister Arbindu said that the government would move the court against the governor's unilateral decisions to appoint vice-chancellors at the Technical University and at the Digital University. Governor appointed Cesar Thomas as Kerala Digital University Vice-Chancellor and K. Shiv Prasad as Kerala Technological University Vice-Chancellor. Both the posts recently became vacant, though the Kerala government had amended the laws to restructure the search committees for VC selection by ensuring that more nominees of the state government are included in the committees. The governor referred the bill passed by the assembly to the president. It is still pending for assent. Now, Khan has been alleging that CPIM-led government has been trying to induct persons of their choice to keep posts in universities without giving importance to merit and thereby lowering the quality of the universities. Congress MP Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has embarked on a 2-day visit to the Wayanad Lok Sabha constituency, accompanied by her brother and leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi. Having recently taken oath as a Lok Sabha member representing Wayanad, she plans to visit all assembly segments in her constituency. Priyanka said that she was ready to start working to ensure a better future for the people of the Hill constituency.
As you know, and I said in my very first speech here, it has been 35 years since I have been campaigning for elections. This is the first election I stood for my own election. In these 35 years, I must have met millions of people in these campaigns, interacted with many crowds. But I just want to say to you that I remember each one of you who has waited for me here in Wayanad. I remember each one of your faces. I remember each child, every mother, every sister, every brother, everyone who has come to greet me, everyone who has waited for me on the side of the streets, outside their houses, brought me a flower, given me a hug, given me a kiss. I remember each one of you. Truly from my heart, I thank each one of you for what you have given me. And the value of what you have given me lies in your love and in your trust. I am in Parliament for you. It is your voice that I will raise. It is your problems that I will try to resolve. It is your beliefs, your values, your hopes and your aspirations that I will stand for each and every day from now until the end. Today is 4 months since the landslide in Churamala and Mundakai. It is 4 months since my brother and I came here and met the victims of the landslide. I have spoken about it many times. But today I want to say that it has been an inspiration for me to see how Wayanad came together, to see how all those people who had lost so much in their lives continued to stand up, continued to fight and went ahead with their lives no matter what had happened.
Meanwhile, Rahul Gandhi accused Prime Minister Modi of favoritism towards Adani and claimed that BJP uses government agencies, media and resources to its advantage, while the Congress relies solely on public sentiments.
In the Lok Sabha, we are fighting a political ideology. We are talking about feelings, emotion, affection, love. They talk about hatred, anger, division, violence. We talk about listening to people. We talk about humility. They behave arrogantly. And so, at a higher level, that is the fight taking place. It's an ideological fight. It's a fight to protect the Constitution. Constitution says all people should be treated equally. Prime Minister Modi says Adani is going to be treated differently than every other Indian. Prime Minister Modi says doesn't matter if Adani has been indicted in the United States, has been called a criminal in the United States. In India, we will not indict him. The Indian Constitution says treat all people in India, all regions in India, all states in India fairly. Prime Minister of India says, regardless of what tragedy Wayanad has faced, I will not give them the support that is their due. So this is the atmosphere in which we are operating. And in a sense, it is the feelings that you have and millions of other people have that give us confidence, that protect us. It's quite interesting. They have the entire government at their disposal. They have the media at their disposal. Money, intelligence agencies, CBI, ED, income tax, unlimited money. And we don't have any of that, we just have the feeling of the people. And it is surprising that the feeling of the people wins every single time.
Pardon?
It is surprising to me even that the feelings of the people win every single time. And I am confident that we will defeat the ideology of the BJP.
Out of Hanoi, the man accused of killing Assam logger Maya Gogoi has been arrested by the Bengaluru police outside Karnataka. Maya's decomposed body was discovered in a service apartment in Indiranagar earlier this week. Police confirmed that Arif, a native of Kerala's Kannur district, was apprehended outside Karnataka and now will be brought to Bengaluru. Now, Arif is a student counsellor in Bengaluru and had been in a 6-month relationship with 19-year-old Maya, whom he met through online dating app. CCTV footage revealed that Arif leaving the apartment alone early on Tuesday morning. Investigators say he had premeditated the murder, purchasing a nylon rope online and carrying a knife to the scene. Arif stayed with the body for 2 days. Maya, originally from Guwahati, was working in Koramangala and living with her sister in Bengaluru. The shocking incident took place in Bengaluru's Indiranagar. They had checked in a service apartment. Arif was in fact seen leaving the apartment with the CCTV footage capturing that he had left the building. This is after spending 2 days with the body in the room in that service apartment. Now, the reason for Arif's condition has not been in fact revealed, but however, it is being said that his psychological profile is also being examined to give credence to the case as well. Andhra Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan had conducted an inspection at Kakinada port to investigate the illegal transportation of rice. Now, during his visit, he examined 1,064 tons of rice sacks loaded onto a barge that were allegedly intended for illegal export to West African countries. Now, State Minister for Civil Supplies Nandedla Manohar provided details about the ongoing issue of illegal rice transportation from the port.
Absolutely checking anyone can come from other countries. Anything can happen. Today it is rice. Tomorrow it can be for a national security threat. Terrorists can come, RDX can be imported, a lot of explosives can be imported. And we have a ONGC online. You know how dangerous game this is. It can unfold. Purpose of marine police is it a state marine police?
Well, stating that a powerful lobby is behind the smuggling of PDS rice, he shared that he had been advised against visiting Kakinada port through messages, as the issue involves 10,000 workers as well. Now, while acknowledging the complexity of the issue, he called for ending the smuggling without affecting the livelihoods of thousands of workers who are dependent on the port and its business. A few days ago, under the supervision of the Kakinada District Collector, he had in fact raised this issue as well. Here, Kalyan also spoke on the PDS scam. He said that a scam which became rampant in the last regime and is still continuing. The sport looks like free for all and no accountability. He also said today it's PDS smuggling and tomorrow it can be import of explosives or RDX. Will criminals stop with rice smuggling? We have a precedent in Mumbai blast and terrorist attacks, and erstwhile East Godavari district has all key installations like ONGC and KG Basin. So, in the interest of the nation, we will take stringent measures. Meanwhile, there are security concerns that have been raised with regard to it. Port authorities have thwarted Kalyan's attempt to inspect the ship. Kalyan asked authorities to serve notice to port CEO. He has also said that there were only 16 security personnel at the port. Almost 1,000 trucks, in fact, ply to the port daily, and it is manned only by 16 people. Pawan Kalyan raises maritime security concerns as well. Kalyan said that the port is a haven for smuggling. Kalyan also will speak with the Union Home Minister Shah on the matter. A few days ago, under the supervision of Kakinada District Collector Shan Mohan, officials had intercepted the Stella El Panama, a ship which was 9 nautical miles off the coast, carrying 640 tons of rice ready for transport. Now, Pawan Kalyan visited the site to inspect the seized shipment. Recently, under the leadership of Civil Supplies Corporation Chairman Tota Sudhir, officials had halted illegal rice shipments and secured them at the port. Expressing serious displeasure, Kalyan questioned how much large-scale rice smuggling could be occurring undetected at the Kakinada port. Meanwhile, the worst monsoon floods in years have devastated eastern Malaysia, submerging homes and inundating communities with relentless torrential rains. Eyewitness footage from Melor in Kelanatan shows homes and buildings engulfed by floodwaters, with heavy rain continuing to pour down. According to National Disaster Command Center, 3 lives have been lost and nearly 95,000 people have been evacuated to over 500 temporary shelters across the states. Now, the northeastern states of Kelantan and Telangana are the happiest places where the situation has turned worst, because these tourist areas have been completely hit hard, and it has resulted in an outflow of tourists as well. Now, flooding is recurringly challenging for Malaysia's monsoon season, which runs from October to March. However, this week's rains have triggered one of the largest mass evacuations in recent years, with Kelantan bordering Thailand bearing the brunt of the crisis. Meanwhile, tensions are boiling over in Georgia's capital, Tbilisi, as police clashed with pro-European Union protesters early this morning. The unrest erupted after the ruling party announced its suspending of talks on EU membership until 2028, a move that has angered many Georgians hoping for closer ties with Europe. Protesters tried to storm the parliament, prompting police to respond with water cannons, tear gas and pepper spray.
Police clashed with pro-European Union protesters in the Georgian capital Tbilisi early on Friday. Demonstrations broke out overnight after the country's ruling party said Thursday it would suspend talks on joining the EU until 2028.
Of course we're upset. We are so angry. It's literally beyond embarrassing. What this government is doing to us, it's literally like, I'm really...
Police ordered protesters to disperse, fired water cannons, and deployed pepper spray and tear gas as masked young people tried to smash their way into the parliament. Some protesters tossed fireworks at police while shouting Russians and slaves. Local media reported that protests erupted in several provincial cities as well. The country's figurehead president accused the government of declaring war on its own people. He asked riot police whether they served Georgia or neighboring Russia. Georgia has long been among the most pro-Western of the former Soviet states. Opinion polls show that around 80% of citizens support EU membership, and the aim of EU accession is written into the country's constitution. The bloc's flag flies alongside the national flag outside virtually all government buildings. However, Georgia's relations with the EU have deteriorated sharply in recent months, with Brussels alleging that the Georgian Dream governing bloc had adopted pro-Russian stands and pushed through bills that critics have called authoritarian, including curbs on LGBT rights and so-called foreign agents. Those moves led the EU to suspend Georgia's application for membership. Georgia Dream denies that it is pro-Russian and says it is committed to democracy and integration with the West. The party says it still wants to join the EU eventually, though it has, in recent years, deepened ties with Russia.
Well, Romania's top court has ordered a recount of votes after the first round of the presidential elections gave a shock win to far-right leader Călin Georgescu. Romania's top security body, the Supreme Defense Council, has previously warned that the country was a key target for hostile actions from Russia and that it had evidence of cyber attacks meant to influence the electoral process.
Romania's top court ordered a recount of votes in the first round of the presidential election on Thursday, after a shock result in the ballot. Independent far-right politician Calin Georgescu polled in single digits before Sunday's vote, but surged to a victory that has raised questions over how the surprise was possible. The Constitutional Court's decision adds to the turmoil surrounding the electoral process in Romania, which is set to hold 3 ballots in as many weeks, votes that are crucial to the direction of the country. Romania's top security body, the Supreme Defense Council, also warned the country was a key target for hostile actions from Russia, and that it had evidence of cyber attacks meant to influence the electoral process. There was no immediate comment from Russian authorities, and Moscow has previously denied foreign election interference. The council said in a statement that, quote, a presidential candidate benefited from massive exposure through preferential treatment on TikTok. Georgescu gained many votes from young voters and Romanians living abroad. His campaign relied heavily on TikTok. A spokesperson for TikTok said it was, quote, categorically false to claim Georgescu's account was treated differently to any other candidate. Georgescu said in a statement that state institutions were trying to deny people's vote, and earlier in the week said he has no connections to Russia. He's due to face centrist contender Elena Lesconi in a runoff on December 8th. On social media, Lesconi said the court was, quote, interfering in the democratic process for the second time, referring to a previous court decision to ban a far-right politician from running in the election. By law, the top court needs to validate the first-round result by November 29th for the runoff vote to happen as scheduled. But the head of the country's election authority said recounting over 9.4 million votes would take days.
US regulators have opened an antitrust investigation into Microsoft. Reuters sources say that US Federal Trade Commission will look at its software licensing and cloud computing businesses.
US regulators have opened an antitrust investigation into Microsoft. A source told Reuters Wednesday the US Federal Trade Commission will look at its software licensing and cloud computing businesses. The probe was approved by FTC Chair Lina Khan ahead of her likely departure in January. However, the election of Donald Trump as US president leaves the outcome of the investigation up in the air. He's expected to appoint a fellow Republican with a softer approach towards business. Sources confirm the FTC is examining allegations the software giant is potentially abusing its market power in productivity software. That's by imposing punitive licensing terms to prevent customers from moving their data from its Azure cloud service to other competitive platforms. The source added the FTC is also looking at practices related to cybersecurity and AI products. Microsoft declined to comment on Wednesday. Competitors have criticized Microsoft's practices they say keep customers locked into its Azure cloud offering. NetChoice is a lobbying group that represents online companies including Amazon and Google, which compete with Microsoft in cloud computing. They've criticized Microsoft's licensing policies and its integration of AI tools into its Office and Outlook. Google in September complained to the European Commission about Microsoft's practices. It argued it made customers pay a 400% markup to keep running Windows Server on rival cloud computing operators. Bloomberg said the FTC has demanded a broad range of detailed information from Microsoft. US antitrust regulators have been on a recent campaign against allegedly anti-competitive practices at big tech companies. Facebook owner Meta, Apple and Amazon have all been accused by the US of unlawfully maintaining monopolies. Alphabet's Google faces 2 lawsuits, including one where a judge found it unlawfully hurt competition among online search engines. It's unclear whether Trump will ease up on big tech, although his first administration launched several probes.